I can remember the moment that I was born. What a statement. What a statement to start a biography. But I feel that it's the only way to describe how my immaculate mind became mush. I can remember the moment that I was born. I remember it clearly. I can. I remember it as if it happened yesterday. It's vivid in my mind, strong, clear images. Some say it's impossible. They don't believe it, especially the people who know me. They ask me, how can you remember the moment that you were born, but you can't remember where you put your car keys 5 minutes ago? And it's true, I am not a good advert for convincing people that I have a godlike memory. They shake their heads and scoff. They do it because they know me. They know that my brain is vacant for much of the time these days. They do not have any faith whatsoever in my memory skills, and I can't blame them because I do not have much faith in my memory skills either. I mean, I can walk through the door, put my phone down somewhere to take off my coat, and minutes later, I will be frantically searching for the device. I laugh at myself. So, with this lack of brain power at my disposal, it does seem strange that I can remember so perfectly the moment when I first appeared onto this mortal earth. But I do remember it. It's as clear as day. Now, the listener has to remember at all times that this was early 1961. There were no videos, no one had a computer, no one had a voice recorder, no one had a camera, no one had a mobile phone that took a 50 megapixel photograph. Without these things, no one recorded the progression of their child. Well, maybe some sort of height mark on a door frame, but there was nothing else. These days, you can even get a photograph of your child inside the mother's womb. But not in 1961. You have to remember that in 1961, the first 5 years in a child's mind has nothing to remind it of its past. It's normally forgotten. Most people are interested when I tell them about being born, and I get mixed reactions from the people that I tell. Their reactions vary depending on where we are at the time or what we are doing at the time of telling. An older person will react differently to a young person, simply because the young person does have a 50 megapixel camera in their pockets at the time of speaking. The younger they are, the less impressive my story becomes, because their births and progressions through life are recorded almost daily. My birth? Well, it usually comes out at a wedding, birthday, or any kind of party really. To be perfectly truthful, I could bring it up anywhere. I would bring it up anywhere. It's my party piece. On a train, in a lift, a passenger in a car. I was not shy. It always came up. I always bring it up. Why do I always bring it up? Maybe because I have nothing else to talk about. Well, nothing to get a conversation going anyway. It's a conversation starter. Now that I'm old, I think I bring it up because I'm looking, hoping for answers. Yes, I have realized that all my life, what I've been looking for is an answer. Introduction. In the early years, when I divulged my conversation starter to the unsuspecting listener, I usually got dry smiles. I got replies of disbelief. Occasionally I get a "this guy's crazy" kind of look or comment. Because the world is so diverse, some very rude people actually laugh in my face just because I told them that I remember being born. Imagine that. How do I remember it, they ask, as if I'm supposed to know. Surely the brain is not developed sufficiently at such an early stage to remember popping out of your mother's womb. It's not possible. I tell them that I remember it clearly because it's reoccurring. It comes back to me once every couple of months. It reoccurs in my head constantly. I close my eyes, I see a bright light, then suddenly becoming aware of my surroundings. Then I open my eyes. At first, it was just bright light. Then it became clearer. The first faces that I see are strangers' faces. Faces looking down at me. I hear echoing sounds. Then I see people in the room. Then I see more people in the room. Then moments later, seeing my mother's face glowing at me, and then feeling safe when I saw it. I remember seeing her face for the first time. It was on fire. Yes, her face seemed as if it was made from fire, but surrounded by a blinding light. I remember trying to turn away from it, but I could not. The light around her face was like a magnet. It drew me to her, like maybe a moth would be drawn to a lamp. They took me away from the light. I remember people touching me. There was a feeling of calm, as if everything was going to be okay. I cried out, but not because I was afraid. I had no control over what my body was doing. Crying just seemed the right thing to do. I do remember it clearly, but I have not always appreciated the gift that God gave to me. I do remember it clearly. But I have not always appreciated the gift that God gave to me. Yes, I see it as a God-given gift now. But in my early years, I dismissed it as just annoying thoughts that just kept popping up in my head and keeping me awake at night. I just took it for granted that everybody remembered their birth. Why wouldn't I? I just thought it was a human ability, something everybody possessed. I never had reason to discuss it as a child. It's not the sort of thing that children talk about in the playground. Hello, Charlie, your birth. What was going on in the operating studio when you popped out then? No, it doesn't happen. When I was a child, I dismissed most of my memories as nonsensical thoughts. And for a long time, I locked them away in the vaults of my mind until I saw enough of life to realize that they were not illusions, but memories. Memories that maybe I had no right to remember. Clever people tell me that doctors say that this is not normal. It's strange. I'm strange. Science research and studies say that it's very rare that people can remember their birth. I read that most people cannot remember the first 3 years of their lives. And this must be true because I've done some research myself recently, and nearly everyone I've asked say that without the use of photographs, they cannot remember their baby years. So if they cannot remember, then why can I? Now that I've learned that people do not remember their birth, I feel that I'm a bit of a freak. Moreover, if anyone in the world should remember these things, it certainly should not be me. Why? Like I told you earlier, if you ask anybody who admits to knowing me, they would tell you my memory is very, very bad. I can forget something or someone just like that. In the blink of an eye, poof, gone. It's not that I mean to be rude, just that my brain does not store information easily. I'm famous for forgetting my name sometimes. So I need to know why it is that I remember the beginning of my life so well, and at the same time forget more current matters so easily. Now don't get me wrong, I have not been living a life of medication into my past, trying to right the wrong. Far from it. My forgetfulness was never a problem to me. In fact, sometimes it had been a godsend if I did not remember it and I did not stress over it. Forgotten. Poof. Clear mind. Get on with life. Believe me, I was stress-free for a long time. Ignorance is bliss, as they say. I was the least stressed person on the planet until now. Now I'm stressed. I'm now repeatedly asking myself why. Why me? My brain hurts. I'm damaging my brain by asking and not getting any answers in reply. Have I befuddled my brain so much asking it the same question that it's retired and it's gone into rest mode? I need to stimulate my brain back to life. I have to give it answers. I understand that there are others out there, just like me, people who remember their births. So I don't feel so much of a major freak, just a minor one. I'm not alone. It's a great comfort. But where are they? Where are these people? I haven't met one yet. Why are they hiding? Why do we hide it away? We all must have seen it. It happened to all of us. Did we just choose not to remember it? Why do we choose to block it from our minds and lock the memory away? Do we have a choice? Do we remember it when we're on our deathbeds and about to die? Is that the time we remember it? Well, if we do, it's too late for me. I need to know now. I need to find like-minded people like myself, people who remember being born, people who remember their birthdays. After all, it did happen, didn't it? When we die, we turn to dust. Why? If we come from nothing, then what is nothing? And how did we come from it? What came first, the chicken or the egg? Where did the chicken come from? Or the egg? If you believe in God, then where did he or she come from? Is there a world of gods? And if you believe that there is a world of superhumans, a world of gods, then where did they come from? Yes, I know, your brain starts to hurt. If you spend too much time thinking about it, you create more questions. There are just too many questions no one can ever answer. Ever. People will always come up with a good explanation about life from time to time, but those explanations will always be theories. The truth is, they will never know. Never. It will always be that one person's view, and you can choose to believe it or not, but it will always remain only a guess. These questions will never be answered. I know this, but what I also know is that the human body is a complex thing, and certainly some human beings can do things that other human beings find impossible. For example, no matter how hard I train to run, I will never, ever be able to run 100 meters in 10 seconds. My body is not built that way. I knew a boy who could fart the national anthem, and I knew a girl that could read a whole 800-page book in a day. I'm told that many people can do this. However, if I tried doing that, I'm sure that my head would explode. My brain just cannot process text that fast. It just can't. Besides, if I go over a certain speed, the words on the page become a jumbled mess and my brain starts to hurt. My brain hurts a lot. But that's just me, not you. It may be easy for you. This is your thing. It's not my thing. This is my thing. It's nothing to sing and dance about, I know, but it is a thing. And I can remember when I was born. Just accept it and try not to argue. Just do it for me. Okay?